Welcome back to Education Matters. Did you correctly answer D, 90%? 90% of U.S. students attend a public school, 88% here in North Carolina, including district public schools as well as public charter schools. We're going to continue our conversation with Rick Kahlenburg. Again, thanks for being here, Rick. As I said at the top of the hour, you've been writing and talking about this a lot. I see you've, in addition to being in the New York Times, the Post, you've been on ABC, CBS, Fox, MSNBC. I see now you can add Education Matters.
That's right.
To your bio. So we appreciate you being here. What else, to go back to our first segment, concerns you about vouchers? And then I want to get into a proposal that you have.
Sure. So one of the other major concerns is that vouchers haven't been proven to increase the academic achievement of students. Some people assume that private schools are kind of inherently better than public schools, but the research in Louisiana, Ohio, and other states has found that actually academic achievement has declined in a number of those states when public school students transfer to private schools and go to private schools on those.
And that's
voucher
comparing them
programs.
to the students who stayed, right? I mean, that,
Right.
like the Louisiana study, I know there was Louisiana, Indiana, and I think, was it Ohio?
Ohio,
Yeah.
That's right. And you know, for a number of years, the research had been kind of mixed, but these most recent studies have been devastating, really negative results from the private school voucher plan. And we have to be thinking about how we're spending our money carefully in order to improve academic achievement for kids, and it's just not happening in the private school voucher programs.
Right. Okay. Now I want to shift gears. We've talked about things that concern you. What would you propose? What should we be looking at in the area of choice? Look, choice is pretty popular, and it makes sense to parents that they should have choice in where their kids go. So what would you propose?
Yeah. Well, I think when Donald Trump and Betsy DeVos say poor kids trapped in terrible schools need a better alternative, they're right. That we ought to have choice, but within the public school system, where there are civil rights protections, where there's accountability, where we're going to make sure that the money is better spent than in a privatization scheme. So there are a number of school districts, about 100 across the country now, including Wake County and Charlotte, where they're using public school choice to bring kids of different backgrounds together. Different racial and ethnic backgrounds.
They're like magnet programs. That's what people will be familiar with here in Wake County.
That's right, exactly. So magnet programs. So this is not the old style of compulsory busing that we did many, many years ago. We're instead saying, can parents come together voluntarily for their students to learn what it's like to live in a diverse society? You know, as the changing demographics of the country make clear, everyone can benefit from being in a diverse school environment.
I mean, why is that? I mean, is it just because it's the right thing to do? I mean, or is there? I mean, what are the real benefits of an integrated school? And I believe when I read this in your paper, you're not talking about just racial integration. You're talking about actually social economic integration, right?
That's right. If you look at the research going back 50 years, it's the socioeconomic status of classmates that matters even more than the race in terms of boosting academic achievement. So we know that low-income students who will go to more economically mixed schools do far better than low-income students stuck in high-poverty schools. And the middle-class students also benefit, that they can benefit from a richer classroom discussion in which students bring different life experiences to the table. This is something that colleges figured out a long time ago, that essentially diversity makes us smarter. That when people are bringing different ideas in, that you get more creative solutions and better results for everyone. There's also kind of a practical workforce preparation issue here. The number one reason that people are fired on the job is not that they're incompetent, it's that they can't get along with others in the workforce, oftentimes others who are from different racial, ethnic, or economic or religious backgrounds. So if we want all students to be prepared to work well in a 21st century diverse America, it doesn't help us when our schools are segregated. So we can use public school choice to overcome unfortunate patterns of segregation by race and class you know, at the residential
Now,
level.
why does just having, you know, moving whether students of color, and what you're really talking about are poor students, regardless of color, into a middle-class school, what exactly does that, why does that work?
Yeah. Well, one of the reasons has to do with peer effects. There's a lot, you know, broad literature on the fact that students are influenced by one another, and this is something every parent knows as well. And so students benefit when they are around peers who expect to go on to college and are acting along those lines. We find that parents in economically mixed schools are more likely to have some time to volunteer in class. So one of the problems in high poverty schools is that parents are so stressed that they are not able to participate in some of those classroom activities. And there's a lot of research to suggest that benefits all students.
Right.
And you get strong teachers in economically mixed schools as well. And so in Wake County, for example, they have the nationally board certified teachers, the teachers who have demonstrated that they're strong throughout Wake County, not just kind of found in a few more affluent schools.
So sort of a final thought on this topic. Sort of how would you sort of sum it up quickly on the what you've described today?
Well, I think many of us are realizing that our democracy is in trouble. That we have some real challenges. And so what we want to do is figure out how to use choice in order to strengthen our democracy through the public school system, rather than taking a very risky step of privatizing education and kind of outsourcing our ability to build our democracy.
Well, we certainly don't need to be more divided, right?
No.
I think we can agree on that. Thank you so much, Rick, for being here with us today. We appreciate it. And we're going to have, for our audience, we're going to have links on our website, ncforum.org, to Rick Kahlenburg's other work. So please take a look for him. After the break, this week's Leadership Spotlight.